Today on BRStv's 52 FAQ, we're reducing phosphates. Hi, I'm Ryan RT Turner, one of your hosts of BRStv, with another episode of 52 FAQ, where each week we answer questions from our popular 52 Weeks of Reefing series. Today we're answering Jake Carpenter's question from week 26. Besides water changes, is there a good way to get phosphate down? We'll offer some tips and tricks on how to help control phosphate in your reef, as well as various equipment you can use to do so. As a brief refresher, elevated phosphate is one of the most common issues you can face throughout the course of maintaining a reef tank. It can slow coral growth by altering how your corals calcify and contribute to significant algae growth. Controlling the tank's phosphate level really comes down to two things: import and export. Phosphate is pretty much unavoidable in your reef. It can make its way into your tank a few different ways. The most common is through the addition of food to your aquarium. Regardless of what you feed your fish and corals, chances are that it'll be broken down into phosphate eventually. Simply feeding less can have a profound impact on the amount of phosphate entering your system. Additionally, phosphate can enter the tank through your source water, but with a good RODI system, this impact usually is almost nothing, or a minuscule fraction compared to what's being added to the tank from your food. When it comes to exporting phosphate out of the aquarium, there are a couple really great methods to choose from that I've also had success with. I know Jake specifically asked for options other than the water changes, but I do think it's worth mentioning that they'll likely be one of the more effective methods when it comes to phosphate control. In addition to a good water change schedule, my next recommendation would be granular ferric oxide, or GFO for short. GFO is a filter media that's best run in a media reactor where it can slightly tumble at a slow flow rate, allowing it to remove phosphate from the water column. Depending on the amount of phosphate being added to your aquarium on a daily basis, GFO can last up to 8 weeks before needing to be changed. GFO can be added to a media bag if a reactor doesn't work for your setup, but you'll be sacrificing some efficiency. GFO has a propensity to bind to itself, so it should be placed in a high flow area and checked occasionally. Another really popular option is removal via a macroalgae refugium. The premise is pretty simple. If algae uses phosphate to grow, why not do so in a controlled environment separate from your display tank? Essentially, a macroalgae like Chaetomorpha or spaghetti algae is added to a chamber in your sump with a good light over it to maximize growth. As the algae grows, it consumes phosphate as well as nitrate and is removed when you harvest a portion of the algae from the refugium. There are also a few chemical methods out there to reduce phosphate. In the BRS-160, we're using the Zeovit system. It uses a combination of zeolites and bacterial additives to control phosphate. Things like Red Sea's PO4 NO3X also do a great job at leveraging the bacteria in your aquarium to manage phosphate levels. There are quite a few methods and solutions out there, and I barely scratched the surface, but hopefully a few of my favorites I shared will help with controlling phosphates in your aquarium. To learn more, check out our filter media video from 52 Weeks of Reefing, Week 24, Carbon, GFO, and filter media for a clean and stable reef tank. If you have any questions or tips for us or the BRS community, share them in the comments area down below. In today's poll, we're asking, what's your preferred method of phosphate control? So please vote and let us know. I'm running GFO on my system at home in addition to a weekly water change schedule, so I'm really curious to see how I compare. I'll see you in the next BRS 52 FAQ, where we answer Craig Miller's question from week 17. Is it worth putting a skimmer in a nanotank?